Hello,
Hello.
everybody. Welcome to Opera Omaha's Poetry and Music Project. I am Matt Mason, the Nebraska State Poet and Executive Director of the Nebraska Writers Collective. And with me is...
Fernando Montejano. I am a Holland Community Opera Fellow and a local poet and writer here in Omaha. And I'm co-host to Matt Mason today.
Yay. And so the Poetry and Music Project connects student poets and their words with composers to create original music from these student poems. The composers select the poems from all these submitted poems.
Yeah, it's a wonderful project where these composers find a lot of these youth poets from all these different places in Nebraska, and they do some wonderful things with the poets that they find with the poems, and they turn them into beautiful music, which we'll get to hear today. The Poetry Music Project itself is produced in partnership with Nebraska Writers Collective, thank you, Matt, and the American Opera Project, with support from, of course, Humanities Nebraska. Thank you, Humanities Nebraska.
Yay. So this all started back in the fall. Opera Omaha and the Nebraska Writers Collective invited students grades K through 12 from Nebraska and Iowa to submit their work. So student poets worked on these, submitted the poems on the themes of emotion, connection, uncovering history, or stuck in place / getting unstuck.
And in the fall, over 500 elementary, middle, and high school students across the state took part in poetry and music writing workshops facilitated by none other than Nebraska Writers Collective teaching artists, and of course, the project composer, Francis Pollock, who we'll talk a little bit more about in a second.
Okay, so Opera Omaha received 69 submissions from 59 poets, grades 2 through 12, across 9 different Nebraska counties: Burt, Cedar, Cumming, Custer, Douglas, Hall, Lancaster, Odo, and Sarpy, plus, as a bonus, Anita County, Iowa. And through these, there are fantastic poems submitted for the project.
That is amazing. We can't forget Iowa, of course. And all of the poems that were submitted to the project are featured in the Poetry and Music Project book, which is available right here for viewing in Matt Mason's hands. It'll look great with you. It'll look just as beautiful as it does with Matt Mason. Or you can go to the Opera Omaha website and you can go ahead and get one for yourself at operaaomaha.org/poetry.
Okay, so project composers Francis Pollock and Matt Browne are alumni of the American Opera Project Composers and the Voice program. They went through all these poems that were submitted and selected 11 poems to set to music. They wrote the music specifically for these poems based on what inspires them. And so Matt and Francis are both with us for a second year here in the project as composers this year. So,
I got a chance to meet Matt and Francis when we were doing the workshops with all these poets, and they were fantastic people. But let me tell you a little bit more about Matt himself. Matt is a New York-based composer who strives to create music through incorporating such eclectic effects as unbridled humor, jarring stylistic shifts, and moments of candid beauty. He's had the honor to collaborate with such ensembles as the Minnesota Orchestra, Alarm Will Sound, the Albany Symphony, the Milwaukee Symphony, and so many more. Plus, he's received honors such as winner of the ASCAP Foundation Rudolph Nissen Prize in 2017, an ASCAP Morton Gold Young Composers Award for 2014, and a BMI Student Composer Award in 2015.
Yeah, and Matt and Francis did fantastic work last year. I look forward to the work this year, which we'll be hearing in just a few moments. And just because you read the poems, it's like, hey, that's a fantastic poem. And then you see what they do with them. It's amazing. Francis Pollock is a composer who likes a real variety of music. Favorite composers include Dolly Parton, Whitney Houston, Joni Mitchell, Missy Elliott, Stephen Sondheim, and many more. So this summer, she will be the composer in residence at the Chautauqua Opera Company. She's a founder of the Midnight Oil Collective, which you can find at midnightoilco.com. All one word, midnightoilco.com. And she's incubating her opera Salt through MOC right now.
Yes, and Frances is so kind as well. I just have to say that when we got to work with her, she was so kind and so patient. And Matt was too. They both they worked so well with all of the young poets because, it's not easy to come into a space like that with a bunch of artist professionals who might have, a lot to say about a project. And, you're a high school kid or, even worse, you're a little elementary school child.
Yeah,
and, yeah, even younger. And you're writing this stuff and all of a sudden you're invited into this room and people are asking you for your opinions on these things. But Matt and Frances made them so comfortable. They made everybody feel so great. And in the end, we got a lot of great work that had all this impressive input from the poets themselves. So none of these songs were just made by these composers selfishly taking people's poetry. No, they came together with these poets and they had these beautiful moments of collaboration where we got to make real change happen. And it was beautiful. It was beautiful. And today you'll actually get to hear all those 11 original pieces of music performed by Opera Omaha Holland Community Opera Fellows Nicholas Davis, Gwenna Fairchild-Taylor, and Jared Hiscock, with, of course, the wonderful Sean Kelly on piano. All of this was recorded at the Blue Barn Theater. Great quality. All of it is so beautiful this year. I really was so excited to be a part of it all.
Yeah. So we've got a fantastic show ahead of us. Are you ready?
Yes.
All right. Well, Fernando's at least ready. So we're just going to shoot forth and get this started. The first piece we'll hear today is called Human Connection. Words are by Mackenzie Painter from Lincoln Southwest High School. Mackenzie's teacher, and thank you, teachers, for supporting your students, having them create the work and send it in. The teacher is Maria Rakes. Music here is by Francis Pollock, and this is performed by Nicholas Davis.
Woo, Nicholas.
Perfect in this life, we must hold on to the people who were able to create connection with. We must learn to let go the ones who sting us. We can feed from the honey people bring us, but we cannot take it all for ourselves. We must learn to share.
Ugh.
Man, that's beautiful.
It really is, really is. I loved it. I got to hear these as they were sort of putting them together, but I never got to feel it, finish listening to the full product. And that was gorgeous. That was amazing.
Wow.
And the camera work there at the Blue Barn is beautiful as well.
Yeah, makes me jealous. I'm state poet. I don't have like beautiful poem operatic takes. I think a heavy metal band did one of my poems once, and that's
What?
it.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Wow.
I'll take it.
Well, that is an honor, Matt. All right, our next song up, I think, is one that we'll all be able to, relate to a bit, as it is one that I think bears very heavily with something that we've all been dealing with something that we've all been trying to forget about. Now in 2021, this next song is the Ode to 2020. So you might already know where it's going. These words were by Brooklyn Grandjeanette. I hope that I pronounced your name correctly, Brooklyn. It is long and beautiful, but difficult to pronounce. She is from Lyons, Decatur, Northeast. Her teacher is Katie Mace. And of course, this music is by Francis Pollock, once again performed by the wonderful Gwenna Fairchild-Taylor. I think you'll all like this one.
Oh, 2020, I can't wait for you to be over. From pandemic to returning to school wearing masks 24/7. I can't wait for you to be over. Oh, 2020, it's been a roller coaster. Sports getting cancelled, not getting to cheer. Oh, 2020. Oh, 2020. Oh, 2020. Oh, I can't wait for you to be over. My hands are dry and cracked from the washing and hand sanitizer. I can't wait for you to be over. Oh, 2020. It's been a rough year. I will not miss you.
Thank you, Brooklyn. Thank you for those words.
We can all relate.
Yes.
Definitely. And I love that song as well because it throws you for a loop. It starts off so serious, and then all of a sudden it jumps into this jaunty tune that is like, forget you, 2020.
Great work, Francis. And thank you, Gwenna. That was beautiful. So up next, and also wherever you're watching us, please comment. We'd love to see your comments about what you're experiencing, who you're rooting for, who you love, all that. But the next song will I want to call these all poems, but there's music on them. So I'm a little biased towards the poetry part.
Next time,
Well-
maybe just say the next poem turned song.
Yeah. Ooh, the best.
Oh.
The next poem with some music or something. No. The next song is called "On the Inside," with words by Kyson Lammers of Holy Trinity Elementary and teacher Jennifer Kleinschmidt. Thank you, Jennifer. Music is by Matt Browne, and watching us live. Hello out there, Jared Hiscock. We're going to see you on the screen in just a moment, but thanks for joining us.
Thanks, Jared.
When my happiness is full, my blue is gone. When my blue is tipped, my mad is also up a bit. When my mad is in time, my happy is done. And when my joy is complete, my mad is split. When my love is packed, my hate is away. When my hate is brimmed, my love is out. When my stress is quiet, my calm is astray. Yet when my calm is crammed, my stress is about. When my confusion is bursting, my calm is feared. When my smarts are jammed, my dumb is squished. When my fright is filled, my brave is deed. But when my nervous is packed, my courage is wished.
Oh, beautiful, beautiful. The
And that
best,
poem, that's an elementary kid who comes up with the line, "When my calm is crammed, my stress is about." It's like,
yes.
man,
Yes.
I want that line.
Just take it. Just take it. No, it's wonderful. And I was thinking that as we were listening to this last song, to Jared singing, I mean, with these last few that we've heard, you hear these wonderful singers, you see these adults on screen, and it's so easy to forget that it was young people who wrote this, who rose up, said, I want to write something, and they were chosen for this amazing project. And that's the whole poetry book. It's just tons and tons of poems by kids who are out there having these intense thoughts that some people think they can't have. You guys rock. We'll shout out this poetry and music project book again. Go over to operaomaha.org. If you have not heard us say this just yet, if you're just joining us, it is on there. You can get yourself a copy, and it's wonderful. It includes all the poems that were submitted to the Poetry and Music Project this year, not even just the ones that are being played today, but everything that was submitted. So you can get to share that with all the people you love, because it's a great gift. Poetry, music. It's wonderful.
Poetry, maybe slightly better, depending.
Yeah,
Sorry,
Frances Pollock,
music fans.
Frances Pollock commented and agreed with you. She said that she is also more biased towards the poetry. Yeah, there it is.
Thank you, Frances. Very kind, especially since you make such beautiful music. Frances is one of our composers today. So.
Yes. I'm sure she's watching live with us, as well as Sean Kelly. I was told Sean Kelly is watching live. Hello, Sean. He is the wonderful pianist you're seeing in all the videos. Such a talented man. Before he
Opera Omaha.
Yeah. He's so great. He's so good. I've gotten to listen to him play a bunch, and now listening to these finished products is even more beautiful. So crisp, so clean. Thank you, Sean Kelly. And thank you to all the singers. That was all 3 of our singers that we're going to have today. You'll see them a few more times as we play the rest of these videos. Nicholas Davis, Gwenna Fairchild-Taylor, Jared Hiscock, absolutely wonderful people I've had the pleasure of working with these last few months, and they are amazing and so good at what they do, as you're all getting to see now. Yeah. But let's move it on, right? Let's move this train right on. Poem turned music. The next one is entitled Mom, and it's our only poetry turned music project song that has a emoji in it. So it's Mom with an emoji happy face. So wonderful, excellent. These words are by Harper Burgert. I'm sorry, Harper. I hope that I'm not pronouncing that incorrectly. She is from Whitetail Elementary. Teacher Jill Frederick. The music is by Frances Pollock. Thank you, Teacher Jill Frederick. Thank you, Frances Pollock. And it is performed by our wonderful Nicholas Davis. Please enjoy. Thank you so much, Harper. Thank you so much. I'm sure not just your wonderful mom, but all the people working in the healthcare sectors right now are really, really loving that poem and the light that you're shining on all those hardworking people. So thank you, Harper. Thank you very much.
Yeah, definitely. And thank you, everybody, joining us today. I see out there Mary Bullard Burns. The Westland family is out there rooting for various poets. So
yes,
thank you for joining us today.
Watching for Brooklyn. Hooray, Brooklyn.
Yeah. Up next, we've got a song called Dear Grandpa. Words by Heidi Donegan of Callaway Public School, whose teacher is Melanie Chesley. Thank you, Melanie. And music here by Frances Pollock, and it's performed by Nicholas Davis. So get another one.
Take us away, Nick.
Dear Grandpa, with lockdown they won't let me see you. I understand it's for your safety, but I haven't hugged you since before quarantine. Dear Grandpa, it's been 9 months of solitude for you. You won't talk on the phone anymore, and I am worried we're losing you. Dear Grandpa, today it was Veterans Day and they said your name. I cried because I couldn't thank you for your service. I miss talking to you about sports and school. Dear Grandpa, I'm not worried about you getting sick.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Gosh, what a beautiful one.
Wow.
And right. Just again, the
I-
thoughtfulness.
Yeah, I say I'm biased for poetry, being state poet and all, but it's so beautiful to see the emotional accentuation that the music really adds. Just beautifully done.
Yeah, it's amazing, and to see the power that they could take from something that is already so thoughtful and so
Yeah.
well written, and to put it to music in such a real way, to make it so affecting, even beyond the words that poetry can, that, even beyond the power the poetry has. It's wonderful. Everything from Sean Kelly to the composers to Nicholas Davis to the actual poet. Fantastic, absolutely fantastic. And I want to say, we're looking at the comments out there. Thank you, Radana, for your kind words, for all the compliments. We love to hear it. There is so much heart that was put into the Poetry and Music Project. It seems every year, but I got to be a part of it this year, and I got to see firsthand just how much care and love was given to all of the things that were submitted, to everybody that got to actually work in the workshops, to the students who got to be a part of this. It was beautiful. It was amazing for sure. And it's great because we have such a mixture of these pieces. Some are so personal and they're about these personal stories, and others, they're bigger and more grand than that, like the one that's coming up next. They talk about lots and lots and lots of different stuff. So this next song that is coming up is called Untold History. These words are by Lily Berry from Lincoln Southwest High, whose teacher is Maria Reichs. Music by Francis Pollock. Thank you, Francis. Performed by Gwenna Fairchild-Taylor. Take it away, Gwenna.
Tells horrible stories, yet forgets the most damning details. History is selective. Tells of rich queens and kings, and of poor people affected due to where they live. But they don't tell of organizations that could have helped, and were too selfish to give them the time of day. History is selective. Tells of strong men and women who have children. They go on to change the
Oh, just another one of those haunting pieces. I
Yeah.
remember when we were in the workshop for that one, Francis, spoke about how she thought that it just, needed to stand alone on itself with no music in the back, just the words, because of how important she felt the words were. And again, the youth writing these words, writing this stuff that is so great. Just wonderful. And I wanted to mention a comment as well, if I could, Matt. Joyce Bernison, mentioning her love for the Dear Grandpa song, because again, another one of those ones that just, it's relatable. Unfortunately, with everything that we've been through, she says, "Thank you so much, poetry and musicians, for Dear Grandpa. My heart understands this one," and I agree. I felt that one as well.
Yeah. And glad you're enjoying, glad you're here today. And Karen and Jack Nelson, glad you're enjoying also. Seeing a lot of great comments. Love to see
Yeah.
more comments. let us know what you think and feel. I'm glad everyone is here. Our next song is called "The Lovers of Modena." Words by Ava Larson from Brownell Talbot, whose teacher is Chris Hamel. Music here by Matt Browne, and it's performed by Jared Hiscock.
Woo!
Just before our eyes were to end. Looking back at the quagmire and the destruction and decay. My only thought of solace was you. Beside me that day. The 11 others wept as realization hit. We must accept to die in vain, to hatred's hands. 13 bodies entombed in clay and sand. I met your eyes, and my life thread was severed by Atropos' hands, soul and body whether they tell our story truthful is really the great dilemma. Buried hand in hand, the lovers
wonderful.
Yeah, definitely. And I think Stephanie in the comments sums it up pretty well, that it's beautiful to hear these amazing singers convey the thoughts and words of young poets of Nebraska. As someone with the Nebraska Writers Collective, we work with young poets through the whole school year. And, youth poets get kind of a bad rap of like, oh, who wants to see young people do poetry? Well, man, I do. They're writing some beautiful work out there. Much better than when I was in high school. Fernando, how was your high school year poetry?
You know what? Let's not talk about it, Matt.
Fair enough.
We'll just leave it there. We'll leave it there. We'll leave it at that. It's better now. That's what we'll say.
Definitely.
And it's true. It's true. Hearing the way these young people are expressing their thoughts and then getting to have that turned into music, man. I know that if that had happened to one of those terrible poems that we're not talking about of mine from high school, I would have been elated, over the moon.
Oh yeah.
But
I'm glad none of my high school poems are music, or there would be no more reviewers here. I think.
I'd still be here, Matt.
Thank you.
All right. One thing I wanted to throw out there again for anybody who's just joining us one last time, if you wanted to see more about these poems, about these songs, head over to Opera Omaha's Instagram page. We have posted a lot of videos that the poets recorded themselves, of themselves reading the actual poetry in their own words and describing a little bit more about what it meant to them. So if you wanted some more insight on this work, go ahead and go over to the Opera Omaha Instagram page and find some more about the poets there. There's a lot of them. They're wonderful.
Yeah.
Our next song here is To Happiness, a letter to happiness. These words are by Connor Collin from Hayward Elementary, another of our elementary submissions. The teacher, Mary Meredith. Thank you, Mary Meredith. Thank you, all the teachers on this list, for encouraging some of your students to submit these poems. I know there was a few teachers who told us that these pieces wouldn't have happened if they weren't there to push these kids. So I'm glad that the teachers are there, and even more glad that the kids decided to write this stuff, because we needed to hear it. We needed to hear it. It's beautiful. This one is composed by Matt Browne and performed by the wonderful Gwenna Fairchild-Taylor.
I love that. Happiness makes a lot of sound.
Yes. Just the words there mixed with Gwenna's incredible voice range, popping those sounds out, making that poetry stand out to a level that it couldn't if it was just on the page, I suppose. I'm still biased towards poetry, but this music is great. This music is great. And I do want to shout out Sean Kelly, because I was in the background of that room behind the cameras watching them as they were performing, and Sean Kelly was just going crazy on the piano. He was so good. It was fun watching him. He was just he was in there. So good, Sean Kelly. Thank you for your work.
Yeah, thank you so much. All right, our next song, Emotion. This was written, the words were written by Zane Maltus of Lincoln Southwest High School, teacher Maria Rakes. Thank you, Maria. You had a lot of your students sending in poems for this. Very grateful. Music here by Matt Browne and performed by Jared Hiscock.
Inside my dream, I could faintly see a man who looks so much like me. I called to him, he spared me no glance. He did not give me half a chance. I pleaded, please, I just want to help. And he recoiled with a shrill yelp. As I approached, I saw on his face a visage lost in fear and disgrace. My arm reached out to help the poor man, and a horrible darkness soon began. My eyes glazed over, my heart is racing, my body feels cold, my ears are ringing. I can't see. I can't hear. My heart slows down, but my mind still races. I think of the man and his sad wincing faces. That loathsome creature that won't let me be, who taunts me, torments me, harms me.
Wow. Another one. This is actually one that I really stuck with me when we were working on the actual,
I bet.
in the workshops. Well, it was not just for the piece, not just for how deep it was and raising that awareness for anxiety and people who feel these things. But Zane, the young man who wrote the poem, what a multifaceted, multi-talented kid. I mean, he's writing these things, but at the same time, he's working towards a career in music. He loves music. He's really, really intelligent and was able to have these great back and forth conversation with Matt Browne, the composer, with all the musical terms that I didn't know because I'm a poet. But it was fantastic to hear them talk together and to hear how happy he was about how closely this came to his vision and how he felt it was very, very good at capturing, exactly the words that he put down. So wonderful. Absolutely wonderful.
Yeah.
Yeah. But okay, we'll keep moving on. We're not going to waste any of your time. We know you're here to listen to music. And if the Brooklyn Westland family is out there, it is your time now. It is your time to shine. Our next song, our next poetry churn song is Unstuck. These words are by Brooklyn Westland from Lincoln Southwest High School. From, of course, and we're going to throw it out there, what a congratulations we have to give to Maria Rakes. Wow. Inspiring people, inspiring those kids out there to write poetry and to send it in. Your name has been on here so many times. Excellent job. Music by Matt Browne, performed by Gwenna Fairchild-Taylor. Another beautiful poem, another beautiful piece. So
Yeah.
personal, so true to so many people living in that state. Just wonderful writing. Wonderful writing. Thank you, Brooklyn.
Yeah, and I love these performances too. Gwenna and Nicholas and Jared do a great job of not just singing a poem, but really acting it out with their body and their face too as they go. It's fantastic. So
Yeah, collecting that emotion from the words, it's so important, and they do it so well.
yeah. And also give a shout out to the Maltus family. Again, congratulations to Zane, but glad you're out there watching. Enjoy the show. We have one song left here. So we're going to close this out.
I wanted to give one tidbit, if I could, about this song. We can talk about it a little bit more after, but just before we even get into this, as it's definitely one of the ones that we all enjoyed so much working on. Beckett Pinder, the writer of this one, is our youngest, I believe, if I recall right. He was the youngest entry. So that is excellent. Fantastic.
Yeah, that is fantastic. So, as Fernando said, this song is called "The Seed" by Beckett Pinder from Whitetail Elementary. The teacher there is Jill Frederick. Thank you, Jill. Music by Matt Browne, performed by Nicholas Davis.
What a great cap.
That's another one of those. It is skyscraping into the picking season. It's like, God, these word combos, fantastic.
And I'm telling you, Matt, I was looking at, I got to see all of these written on the page before I got to finally hear them in music. And so I was like looking at the poetry and the way that these poets were putting these together and the way that they were making the stanzas go out. I was just blown away. And then when I saw this one, it reminded me so much of like a Gary Snyder poem. I don't know what it was. It just like felt this very simplistic like language, invoking this very beautiful imagery. And I was like taken away by it, just absolutely taken away. It was great. It was great.
Definitely.
But that is all of our songs, everyone. That is all of them. All of the wonderful music, all of the wonderful poetry that was churned into music that we got to share with you today. And if you liked The Seed, if you liked this song, if you liked Nicholas Davis singing it, I just want to invite all of you before we finish out here today to come to our Opera to Go concerts. They are, hour-long little concerts out in the park on the weekends, Saturdays, Sundays. Go to operaomaha.com so you can see the full schedule, where we're going to be. The Seed is actually one of the songs that's being performed there. So if you liked hearing it here, maybe you'll love hearing it live. Who knows? Just come on down and join us.
For these events too. So
the MC is pretty fantastic. He's a very handsome, bearded man that is me. So come out and see me. I promise it'll be as much fun as I can make it for you. We'll get to listen to tons of really popular poetry, as well as this original song, The Seed, written by Beckett Pinder, composed by Matt Browne, sung by the wonderful Holland Community Opera fellow Nick Davis. And before we go, I'd also like to extend some thank yous out there. Thank you firstly to all you people watching, to everyone who showed up for this wonderful project, all of you parents who supported your children, all of you teachers who inspired your kids to write poetry, all of you poets who submitted everything. You were brave enough to write this down, submit it, and get it churned into song. That was wonderful. And of course, we have to thank you, Nebraska Writers Collective. We have to thank Gina Trinisi, all the teaching artists who led writing workshops in the fall. You're all wonderful. You helped inspire all these children to continue writing. And of course, if you guys really, really want to, all of these poets that submitted, all 69 of the poems, are in our Poetry and Music Project book. Which you can get at operaomaha.org/poetry to get a copy for yourself. And of course, thank you to the American Opera Project. Matt, is there anyone else we got to thank?
Yeah, we have to thank Opera Omaha, who really put this all on and did a fantastic job putting it together. So thank you, Sean Kelly, who we saw on piano, Lauren Medici, who has been really doing all the work that makes this possible. Thank you so much, Lauren. Just brilliant. We are grateful to Erica Helgerud, also Katie Clanton, and Jack Hardwick, who wasn't this a fantastic online visual feast for us all? Far better than the Zoom meetings I've been in for 15 months. So thank you so much, Jack. Also, the Blue Barn Theater, who hosted the video recording, technical director Bill Kirby, Humanities Nebraska, who did a fantastic job supporting us, and they support so many great arts and humanities events around the state of Nebraska. Thank you, Humanities Nebraska. All these songs, you see the videos here on this. You can watch this video again, and as well as the individual songs at the Opera Omaha, their website, through their YouTube channel. We've been talking about their Instagram, all the content available there. Mm-hmm. Also, watch for, we have to thank this guy, Fernando. He's a fantastic writer. Look for him performing and writing locally.
Thank you, Matt Mason, state poet. That is incredible to hear from you.
Great to be here.
It was great to be here with you, Matt. It was great to share this music with all the fine people. Thank you all.
Yeah. Thank you, everybody, for coming. Thank you, Rachel Larson, for your comments. And it's great to have you and everyone else viewing here. And if you didn't get to comment live, thank you for joining in the video version of this.
We're still happy to have you.
Yes, definitely. But thank you all for watching.
Bye, everyone.